All right, welcome everyone to episode 14 of the Kota Capper College Football Central Show presented by the Kota Sports Gambling Network. I'm not sure how this episode's going to go. I mean, it's rivalry week. We got someone fighting his Jordan flu game. We got someone's audio not working. It's gonna be a very interesting show, but you know what? We're gonna go through it because it's rivalry week. We got a lot of games to talk about, a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm excited for it. My name is Kyle Comas, and joining me, we have the co-host of the Gabacho Borracho Soccer Podcast and an avid Husker fan. We got Mr. Corey Adair. We got the other co-host of the Gabacho Borracho Soccer Podcast and an avid Hawkeye fan. We got Mr. Thomas Miller, also known as El Guerrero Mysterio. And we got the host of the Play Me or Fade Me podcast. We got Mr. Action Junkie. Fellas, the vibes seem kind of weird, but I think it's still going to be a great show. But overall, how we feeling today? How we doing?
You're doing a lot better.
Awesome. We talked about the same.
Yeah, we did.
Perfect.
Be doing a lot better if we beat Wisconsin last week.
False start.
Tripping. No, I'm good. It's rivalry week. This is the best week of the year for college football. It's my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving, best 2 days of the year, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Slew of college football games from the Iron Bowl to the game. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than this week.
Absolutely.
And I'm just one win away from beating Texas Tech, from being able to make my mortgage payment, so I'm all excited.
Is that to go to the Big 12 championship or just to win the Big 12 championship?
Well, I already got the over for 9.5 wins on the year, but I need this conference win to cash my over 7.5, and then I need them to win the conference championship next. But, I already, partially covered the mortgage payment, another win here, and I cover the mortgage payment, and then it's just gravy on the top if they get to beat Oklahoma or Oklahoma State by 50.
The wife is going to wonder all of a sudden why, if that doesn't happen, while you're outside with tin cans, like asking for spare change if this doesn't go through.
Yeah, no, but that's a fear factor. Yes, I'm looking at those side hustles right now, just in case.
Hey, dude, I got the perfect one for you. Just go to Walmart and pretend to be one of the Salvation Army people.
Ooh. You know what? That's not a bad idea. I'd feel bad, though. I'd feel guilty.
I would say, do people actually do that? Is that something that people would... I mean, it's genius, but I mean, it's so unethical.
Oh, dude, it's awful.
It's unethical. Not a shock that Corey came up with the idea.
I've been watching too much Shameless lately, I guess. It's just a little bit of Frank Gallagher in me. I don't know. It just seemed like a good idea at the time.
Thomas, you're pretty quiet. That's not like you. What's going on, buddy?
No, I was just listening to that conversation. I believe they did it in Home Alone 2. If you guys have seen that movie. Well, they didn't do that, but one of the bad guys he had like a a glove made of magnets. Yes, that's a word, and that's the word I was looking for. And he stole a bunch of change. So that's pretty fun. And I love this week of the year too. Short work week for a lot of people. Get to eat a bunch of food, spend time with family. Got a bunch of the professional sports going on. College basketball's back. Feast week, as they call it in college basketball. Got college basketball from 10 a.m. till midnight, almost every single night. Then you got last week of the regular season of college football, which is bittersweet. It's like it's like hooking up with that side piece. Your side chick for the last time. You're going to have fun with it, but it's the last time. So it's kind of difficult thing to go through and have to go back home to your boring wife and stuff.
You get those last sex seconds.
Yeah. Gonna have to hit the laboratory on the way home and make sure you don't got any STDs for the last time. And just, it goes by so fast,
Nothing worse than the last time, man.
Yeah.
If my wife's listening to this show right now, I do not condone anything being said currently, okay? I just want to go on the record that I'm separating myself from this conversation.
Fuck, I'm the only bachelor on here, aren't I? Let's go.
You are. Nerd.
Whoa.
All right, gentlemen. Well, hey, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, like Corey and Thomas and everybody said. It's rivalry week. There's a lot of great games, a lot of good stuff going on. So let's not waste any more time doing this. let's start with the trivia question of the week. I did ask fellow Kota Cappers this trivia question. A few people got it right, so I think it's a fairly gettable question. So, a lot of people are saying, LSU has 3 losses. Jane Daniels shouldn't win the Heisman. I disagree with that. That's another conversation for another time. But it's not impossible to win the Heisman with 3 losses. 4 people have won the Heisman since the year 1988 that has had 3 losses. So your trivia question is, who was the last one? So who was the last Heisman Trophy winner to have 3 losses and still win the Heisman? So I will let you think about it really quick while I do our ad read. Let me get some water here because there we go. We can cut that. The Kota Capper College Football Center Show is sponsored by Better Edge. Better Edge is a social betting marketplace that is legal in 45 states and operates like a marketplace. How does that work? Let me use an example. Let's use the Iowa-Nebraska game being played this weekend. One person on the platform likes Iowa money line, places $10 on that line. Another person on the platform likes Nebraska money line. They place $10 on that line. Boom. You now got an exchange because it's person to person and not person to sportsbook. That's what makes it legal in 45 different states. Most sportsbook, they'll have juice lines on spreads and over-unders. With Better Edge's -100, +100, you get such a higher payback for the users. There's also the only sportsbook that I know of, and it's not really even a sportsbook, the only sports platform that I know of, where if you don't like a line, you can create your own line, and if someone's on the opposite side of you, you get that line. I think that's what makes Better Edge so cool and unique, is things like that. They have several different competitions such as Battle Royale, Survivor, Chaser, just like a DraftKings would, just competitions that keep things competitive for all the users. And it also incorporates social media, so people can go on their timeline, post their picks, people can fade them, people can ride with them. It's really cool to see. We love Better Edge, the network. Go to the website, www.betteredge.com. Use promo code Kyle, Corey, Thomas, Play Me, Beast. Any of those promo codes, you get $20 added to your account. I mean, that's free money. You put money in, you get $20 added. We love that. www.betteredge.com and use any of those promo codes we mentioned. So, gentlemen, the trivia question I asked you for this week is, who is the last Heisman Trophy winner to have 3 losses? Their team had 3 losses, but still won the Heisman. So that's the trivia question for this week. Thomas, we'll start with you.
I think I know it, so you guys might want to tell me if you don't know it. It's Lamar Jackson. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Louisville, yeah.
Sounds good. Corey, what do you think it is?
You're on mute. Dumb.
Dumb. It was either Lamar Jackson for me, but since he guessed or didn't guess, I don't know. He's probably right, honestly. But since he said Lamar Jackson, I'll go Johnny Football.
Okay. And Action, who do you think it is?
I was going to go Doug Flutie, but I'll go Lamar Jackson because Thomas sold me on the confidence, and I don't think I've had a pick right all year.
All right. Sounds good. So we've had 4 Heisman Trophy winners that have had 3 losses since the year 1988. I can't remember the very first one, but Robert Griffin III had it. Tim Tebow had 3 losses, and the most recent one is Lamar Jackson.
2 in a row for me.
Thank you, Thomas. And I didn't even hear the 88 part because obviously Doug Flutie was like 84. And I don't even know if he had 3 losses. But thank you, Thomas. I needed a win.
There you go. You're welcome.
Victories all around. So good work, gentlemen, on that trivia question. Before we get started on the snake draft, let's really quick. We had a lot of crazy stuff happen week 12. A lot of some good stuff happened, some bad stuff happened, just overall reactions for week 12. What's everyone's thoughts? Thomas, you started the trivia question, so we'll start with you again. What overall thoughts week 12?
I've been on the show, not really been a homer. I'm not there are a lot of, I will admit there are a ton of really annoying Iowa fans. But I really got to give a shout out to Iowa. The Big Ten West is absolute trash. But I mean, somebody's got to win it. They're going to Indianapolis. They've had probably the most one of the most controversial years of any college football team this year. At least this year, and with everything with Brian Ferentz, with how the media treats their offense, etc. injuries, suspensions, from day one. You got a guy, one of their best defensive tackles, starting defensive tackle, suspended for the year for gambling. Started all with that. All that being said, pretty easy schedule. Obviously, if you're in the Big Ten West, everybody's kind of got an easy schedule. But I mean, just a big shout out to them. I mean, that's my biggest thing of this week. It would have been really stressful to take it to Lincoln. I think Nebraska got a really good shot at knocking off Iowa again this year. I mean, with everything that's gone on ever since it's come out that Brian's gone, I mean, he's been coaching pretty well, calling pretty decent games, and they did it again last week. Found a way to win when we were feeling pretty really unsure. Like you didn't know how it was gonna come. Didn't really feel like it was gonna come, but it happened. And I mean, they're 9-2. At worst, they're gonna be. I mean, they could go 9-5, I guess, which would be terrible. But I mean, pretty good shot at getting 10 wins. And I mean, in the type of year that they've had, I mean, another great job.
Catch away from 11, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't a fair catch.
Yeah, I mean, I should say we are 10-1, but I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just my hats off to Iowa. Didn't really expect to even be having a shot to go to A&D this year, and they're there with a week to go.
Yeah, and I think that's well said. And this isn't the point I have, but I do want to make one point. Corey's already said in the group chat that me and Thomas have such a little passion for the game during rivalry week. But the point I'm making here, Corey, is this game for Iowa means absolutely nothing. Win or lose, they're in the Big Ten championship, which is why, like, Nebraska's playing for something. They have an opportunity to make a bowl game for the first time since 2018. Like Thomas said, I could very well see Nebraska win this weekend, which is why, like, I want Iowa to win. Nothing would be sweeter than seeing Nebraska miss a bowl game for another year. Nothing would be sweeter than that. But the passion isn't gone. Just the passion's not as much there because it doesn't matter.
I give two fucks.
I take issue with that, though.
I could give two shits less with what you just said because we took the West away from you last year. You took a bowl game away from us 2 years ago. This game's a rivalry. You guys wanted us. You guys wanted the rivalry when we joined the Big Ten, and we sat there and sloughed you off and said that it didn't matter to us. It's Iowa. Iowa's beneath us, and that caused a lot of hatred. And then you went and took 7 in a row against us. We're out for blood. I don't give a shit if you guys are motivated. I hope you're not. I hope you're not. Come in slow.
That has nothing to do with the players. You're absolutely.
I don't care anymore, dude. I literally.
You're very much mistaken if you think that the Iowa players have less motivation.
Right.
Is like, what are you saying? Is
they had all the motivation last year, and we ended the streak last year. I could give two shits less if there's no motivation this year. Like I really don't care. I don't care about the narrative. It's a rivalry game.
It has no effect on the game. You have no effect on the game. We have no effect on the game. You know what I mean? It's what I'm saying, I guess.
And to Thomas's point, we don't give a fuck if you don't give a fuck about us. That's the main point I'm getting at. I don't care if you care about us because I don't care. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you can say all you want that we have no little passion for this game or anything like that. I hope we win. I hope for another year of Nebraska not making a bowl game. But frankly, I don't give a fuck what you think of me and Thomas. Frankly, that's the main point I'm trying to get at.
I think it could be, like having that weight off their shoulders. Like the game kind of got decided last year when Cooper DeJean got a concussion. Nebraska did a great job. Their offensive game plan, they kept throwing to, what's his name? Corey, help me out.
Trey Palmer, right?
Yeah, Trey Palmer. I mean, as soon as Coop went out, like they just threw to him a million times, and he had a huge game. Amazing game plan. That's what you got to do. You see starter get hurt, you go right at him. All the props in the world to them. But I think like there could have been some tightness to it. So I think there could be something with already clinching that, could benefit Iowa too, where they're just gonna go out there and ball, and do whatever they need to do, whatever balling in Iowa terms is, whatever joke you want to make, that's scoring 13 points, and that's what it is. But I mean, I think there could be an advantage not having all the pressure on them as well.
But don't see comfortability as unpassionate, because that's just not the case is the main point. But we've
just think
talked a lot, so go ahead.
I think they're preemptive excuses for if you lose. I think it's a way of saying, oh, they're not motivated because we already won the West. That way, if Nebraska does win, you can be like, oh, see, we weren't motivated. And then if you win, you get to talk all the shit. So it takes away the down of it, and then only gives you the opportunity to brag. And that's what I think it is, personally.
You're entitled to your opinion, but that's not the case.
Okay.
Yeah, I just said whatever fans would think, the players have no. I mean, they're not living this. They're living preparing for an opponent the entire week. You know, like they're not going to be unmotivated. There's a lot to play for. A 10-win regular season is, a pretty important thing. Beating a rival is a really important thing. Nobody's making excuses beforehand. Nobody's like, I don't know. I think excuses beforehand would be like, well, yeah, I mean, we're having a losing record, but we knocked you out of the Big Ten championship game. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing too,
I don't see it, but it's all good.
Last year, yeah, I mean, yeah, we went like 5-7, but at least we did this thing. Heck yeah. I mean, that's the same sort of thing where it's like taking all the pressure off yourself and just living in the moment. If it's a successful thing.
Going into the game last year, I was like, I just want to end this streak. I'm tired of losing to Iowa, and it'd be great if we could knock them out of the Big Ten.
Yeah, and we're saying it'd be great to beat Nebraska. It'd be great to have a 10-win season, but regardless, Iowa's still going to the Big Ten championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Action.
Sacrificial lambs.
Hey, I got a question.
Other comment,
no, hold on.
I think that'll be an interesting game. Last week was just all about survive and advance.
So here, okay, Corey, you would rather not be in the game. You'd rather not be in the game.
Not at all what I'm saying. I'm stirring the pot, baby. I'm just.
You would rather just say it. Just say yes or no. You'd rather not be in the game. You're one of those fans.
No, not at all.
If you're not in the game, you have zero chance. If you're in the game, even if you're 24 or 25 or 27 point dogs, you have a shot.
Bro, I could give a fuck less if we're 6-6. I want to win the West.
Okay.
I just have to stir the pot. Fuck Iowa. I got to stir the pot.
Oh, okay. And then answer the question. Would you rather be in the game or not?
I just did 3 times. Yes.
You did not. You did not. You said, you got to stir the pot. Got to stir the pot. Would you rather
I literally just fucking said I would rather go 6-6 and win the West.
Mm-hmm.
I just said that. The answer is yes. For the 5th time. Yes.
All right. Let's hear it for a 6th time. Would you rather?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool heads prevail here. Action. Once again, we'll go to you. Week 12 thoughts.
No, it was for me once again. Survive and advance. Michigan didn't look great against Maryland, but they won. They did what they needed to do. Washington survived against Oregon State. Good football game. People did what they needed to do. It wasn't beautiful, but that's oftentimes the look ahead before their rival to finish the year.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Well said. Corey, what about you? Week 12, anything really stand out to you?
Your boy, rest in peace. I don't know if he was necessarily gonna. It amazes me that he could put up the season that he had and not get as much Heisman talk. And that's not me trying to rub salt in any wound at all. Like it's facts. He had a really, really good year. That injury was detrimental because Florida State was looking like they could compete and make the playoff and do something potentially. So that was a big takeaway. And then just Michigan and Ohio State finishing their perfect runs going into the game. That's going to be another undefeated matchup, another top 5 matchup, the most top 5 matchups in the history of college football. So just them doing what they needed to do. Michigan kind of had a little bit of a scare against Maryland. That was kind of entertaining.
Yeah, that was. It would have been funny to see them get knocked off before the game. That would have been good. To wrap up week 12, kind of put a bow on it. Corey mentioned it, and I kind of just wanted to hit on it a little bit. So obviously, unless you live under a rock, you saw the JTravis injury. He is done for the year. They did officially announce it. And there's a lot of emotions in the college football world right now. I did since day one, not only the college football show, but even into the summer. I had money on JTravis to win the Heisman, but I was big on him for a lot of different reasons. First of all, he had a great core around him, with Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. But the biggest thing to me is I hadn't seen many quarterbacks with his grit and with his passion for football. And actually, I remember it clear as day when me, Corey, and all the other guys were in Lincoln. Before the game that Friday, we watched Florida State and Miami, and we saw how good JTravis was in that game. And I just remember watching him and seeing how much of a winner he is, how much passion he had for the game. And to be at the top of your game, have an undefeated season going, a very good shot at the college football playoff going, like Corey said, potential to win the Heisman going, to have all that and just get it shut down because of an injury is absolutely devastating. So I know he's not going to listen to the show, obviously, but he's got a lot of well thoughts going out for him. I know he's in good spirits, but I don't even care about the money at this point. Well, I do, but it's so much more about money whenever you're like a kid like that who's playing as good as he is and loses his shot because of something like that in a game against an FCS team. Like it's absolutely devastating. And it really, really stinks. And obviously, like going forward, I have to find a new Heisman, but that's like the least of my worries. I just hope that he recovers well, maybe gets drafted by an NFL team, and we go from there. But yeah, very, 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 very devastating news. And I hope nothing for the best for him going forward. But yeah, that was really tough for sure.
Battle of backup quarterbacks, Florida State.
True, because Graham Mertz isn't playing either, is he?
Yeah, he's out too. His backup is, I think, Max Brown, his name. I forget Florida State's, but
it's like Rude Baker or something like that. Rude Broad or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. People are talking about a lot of good college football quarterback matchups this weekend, but not a lot of people are talking about Chubba Purdy versus Deacon Hill. I mean, that's one of the more iconic QB matchups this week.
Sneaking Deacon, baby. Let's go.
Yep. A Sioux City kid is, or it was last week at least, is like the third string quarterback for Nebraska right now.
Yeah.
A walk-on.
Fourth stringer, did make the travel roster. He's from East.
He made the travel roster last week, though.
Yep, he's a walk-on. He's the fourth stringer, but because Harburg's hurt or whatever, he probably would have came in as the third guy. It probably would have gone Sims. Then he would have fumbled again, and then it would have been that kid. So, but he was helping with the calls. He is a true freshman walk-on from Sioux City East.
Yeah, very
That's
cool.
so crazy. Could you imagine? In a Power 5, a true freshman
night road game in a rivalry game. Holy in November in the Big Ten.
Crazy.
If he got in, he better purposely throw interceptions to Iowa, being a Sioux City kid.
All right, gentlemen, sounds good. Well, that was good talk about week 12. We got the trash talk going already, but I know it's just going to continue on all week. And I think Corey said it best whenever him and I had a conversation is we're going to take it personally. We're going to go after each other. But at the end of the day, we're all still friends, which is nice because ultimately doesn't mean we're going to give mercy by any stretch of the imagination. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be in good fun. And it's going to be, it's going to be a good week. I'm excited. But gentlemen, if we're ready, let's get to it. Let's do the rivalry week snake draft. So if you just tuned in for the first time, we are doing a 5-round snake draft with 4 of us on the panel. We are going to make 20 picks. So everybody on the panel must have a full game spread, a money line, and over under full game. All those of you are friends at Better Edge once again, a team total and a first half play. And every single round is worth more units. Round 1 is worth 5, round 2 is worth 4, round 3 is worth 3, round 4 is worth 2. Round 5 is worth 1. I'd go through the standings last week, but we were bad last week. All I'll say is none of us got above plus units. We just had a bad week. So I'm not going to go through the standings. Year to date, we're even worse. But that's neither here nor there. We did the order before the show started. We have Action going 1, Corey going 2, myself going 3, Thomas going 4, and then Thomas will have the back-to-back, and it'll snake around back to Action. So, Action, if you are ready, you have the number 1 overall pick. Where are you going?
Yeah, and if I'm correct, Kyle, you're plus 20 units in the year. I'm plus 10, so I feel like I have to chase money this week. When you throw all the Big Ten West teams in pot, they're basically the same exact thing. So I'm just going the biggest money line opportunity out there from the Big Ten West. So give me Northwestern plus the 180 for 5 units over Illinois.
That sucks because that was going to be my money line play. God darn it.
And I'm going to cash it for 5 units. And just with that one play, I might pull even with you.
What did you get for a line on that again?
Plus 180.
Plus 180. Yeah. No, this is a pretty similar situation to Iowa, Nebraska. Northwestern has an opportunity to keep their rival out of bowl contention. I know it's in Champaign, but is Champaign that much of a home atmosphere? Like, Corey, didn't you say when Nebraska played there, like it was mostly Nebraska fans?
Yeah,
I know they travel well, but
the only time I've seen Champaign be hopping was that week 0 game. What was that, 3 years ago when it was supposed to be in Dublin and then they brought it back stateside and Nebraska in Champaign. That was the only time I've seen it full of Illinois fans and absolutely rocking. It's the only time in my life. So yeah, I mean, neither of those teams have great fan bases, but it's going to be fun. It's always fun to watch those two teams play each other.
Yeah.
Illinois is pretty impressive on offense. To be honest, like I feel like they've got something kind of figured out. Like with Paddock, and they got a couple good wide receivers, man. Like they put up, 500 plus yards passing a couple weeks ago, and they were able to move the ball, on Iowa without Cooper DeJean. They were attacking the new guy, whatever his name is, Lee. And I mean they were moving the ball well. I think they got a pretty good offense. I think Northwestern's been pretty impressive too, offensively. Special shout out. I cannot think of his name, man. I wanted to shout him out for like a couple weeks now. But Northwestern's coach should, like, it will never happen, but like he should be. If somebody wants to look it up while I'm talking, that would be so cool.
Hey, David Braun, he was at North Dakota State as our defensive coordinator for 4 years.
David Bryan.
Yeah, David Braun. Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah. It will never happen. It's going to go to like one of the top teams in the Big Ten, but like you should seriously have consideration for Big Ten Coach of the Year. He took a 1-11 Northwestern team, took them over in like July or whatever, when the hazing scandal came out, and they're bowl eligible. They're 6-5 right now. I mean, nobody thought that. Nobody thought Northwestern would be good at all. Like a lot of, I'll say a lot of people, I'll erase that. Knock my mic over. Erase that from the thing. I'll say myself, I really thought they'd be like 0-12, and especially the first week against Rutgers, I believe they got killed. And then, I mean, they've been really good. They've been really, really tough to every opponent. And I mean, shout out to that guy. And
Ben Bryant's been getting better at quarterback as well. They've had enough offense here lately. So yeah, I'm glad I used my 5 unit on it.
No, because I don't know about you two, but that was on my list of plays. I for sure was going to take that. But no, that's a great pick. I like that, and that's definitely deserving to go 1-1 because that's where I was going to kind of head in my direction. But okay, sounds good. I want to use 5 units in the play I think Corey's going to make, but I digress. Corey, your first round play worth 5 units.
Screw it. We're doing it. 5 units, under 26.5. It's so low. I'm going to use the opposite of Kyle's logic. And I know that every time I say this in the group chat, I get roasted for it because apparently it doesn't make sense. So now that I can talk, I will explain it. If there is an over-under that is super high, Kyle, what is everybody supposed to do?
Supposed to take the over.
Okay, so if there's an over-under super low, what should we do?
Probably take the under.
There we go. That's what we're doing, baby.
I think the only exception to that rule is Army Navy. You just got to ride the over in Army Navy.
I'm never riding an over in Army Navy.
I did last year and I got money from it, but that was one of the
time
times. Yeah.
1 in 14.
Did that game go overtime? I want to say it did. Yeah,
I think it did now that you mention it, but
it was a big discussion within the group. Yeah.
Mutual thing here for a second. Like, I like the under here because I'm going to be honest with you, Corey and Thomas. the final score of the Iowa-Nebraska game could be 7-3. It honestly could.
I've been making the joke that it's going to be 7-5 with no touchdowns.
Yeah, I can see it.
Dude,
I can see
go pull up the stats matchup between these two teams. Go look at the passing numbers. It is so fucking gross. It's like 139 passing yards for one team and 137 passing yards a game for the other. Like, neither of these teams can throw it. They're both above average to good at running it. They're both good at stopping the run. They're both top 15 defenses against, for scoring defenses. And then they both force turnovers. It's just that Nebraska gives up turnovers, but Cooper DeJean's hurt. So there goes the turnover machine. It's just it, dude. If this isn't Sicko's game of the century, I don't know what the hell could be.
Yeah.
The only thing you could say in contrary to that is like Iowa's had been part of the 5 lowest pregame totals in history, and this is gonna be the lowest. This is gonna break the record again.
Dude, how fitting the final year of the Big Ten West, and we break
I know.
for the lowest over under ever.
Yeah, but like the entire Big Ten's kind of that now. But like I mean, some are really good still. Iowa's not really good, but like Iowa's been what I was gonna say. The only contrary, and I'm on your play. I like it. Is that Iowa's been like they've been like messing up on field goals and stuff like from getting overs in like the last 3 games or so. Like, but yeah, I think Nebraska's defense is like yeah, they're as good as Iowa, and like the offense is as bad as Iowa. So yeah, I think you could put this thing at like 20, and I might seriously think about going under on it.
Yeah. Nope. That's a good play. I don't disagree with that at all. I do think this is going to be a very low scoring game. And it's sad too that I think either this year or next year is the last year is going to be on Black Friday. That's sad to me.
They haven't announced the schedules once Washington and Oregon come through. And I think there was a rumor that it was going to end this year, and then it carried on to next year. I think the Big Ten is going to try to keep it, personally.
I hope so, because I do enjoy that being on Black Friday.
Yeah, and it's something that Nebraska actively campaigns for. It's something that when Trev Alberts goes to Chicago and campaigns for things for Nebraska and is advocating for things, Black Friday game is like the biggest thing that he's advocating for. So
on November 2nd, they announced Nebraska and Iowa are on November 29th, so it's Black Friday.
Yep. Next year, yeah, but they haven't figured out the Washington-Oregon schedules yet 2 years from now.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But we are a protected rivalry.
Yes.
From that point still. So yes. I think it will be Black Friday.
Iowa has 3 protected rivalries, which is weird. They have the Wisconsin one, they have the Nebraska one, and they have the Minnesota one, which is weird because like not many other Big Ten schools have that many, but Iowa has 3 protected rivalries.
It's fitting.
Oh, here we go. All right.
No, those are all good rivalries.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. Never mind. I was gonna put words in your mouth, and I shouldn't have done that. That's on me. I apologize.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
All right. So my first round play, I'm actually gonna go away from Power 5, and I'm going to go to the MAC, and I'm going to take Ohio -14 against Akron. Ohio, they blew their chance to make the conference championship game a few weeks ago when they lost to Miami, Ohio by 2 touchdowns, but they still have an opportunity to get 10 wins here. And it starts against a really, really poor Akron team. Akron is about as bad offensively as Kent State is. They're scoring 15.7 points per game and only have 291 yards per game. Meanwhile, Ohio, on the flip side, is giving up 16.1 points per game. That's 6th in college football. This Ohio defense is really, really solid. And I think this is going to be not even close. I think Ohio's going to rout them and have some momentum going into bowl season. Plus, for some reason, 75% of the public is betting on Ohio. And fading the public, I don't know about you guys, but fading the public this year has been absolutely money for me. So I'm going to fade the public once again, and I'm going to stick in the MAC and fade the public. I'm going Ohio -14 as my 5-unit play.
Action.
Sir. And that is where I'm going to go. Thomas, you do have back-to-back here. We'll start with your first round play worth 5 units.
All right, I'm gonna burn up my team total. I'm gonna take Ole Miss over 34.5. In the Egg Bowl Thursday. I don't know if the show will be out by then. Hopefully, if
It
you're tuning
should.
into this, okay. If you're tuning into this, then maybe it's a winner. If it's not, then I just think they're a million times better than Mississippi State. Mississippi State does have some motivation. I think they can get to 6-6 with this game. But like I said, Ole Miss is way better. And they can lock up. I'm pretty sure they can lock up. Like they're like, what they come out in the CFB today, like 10,
Yeah.
9, something. So they can lock up like a near Year Six bowl, which is a big deal. It's a big deal for a program to do that, I think. And yeah, so I think their spread is a good play too, and I think over 34.5 is totally doable. With my next play, I'm gonna take Oregon State plus 13.5 for my 4-unit play. I think they keep it somewhat close. You know what I mean? Like within 13 points, I guess. Against Oregon in the Civil War, whatever they call the game now. They're just not a bad team at all. They're very, very good. I think they would be if you looked around at a lot of the top 20 teams that are kind of there for whatever reason, just by their records, including one that I root for. Like I would definitely choose Oregon State over them in a head-to-head matchup. And yeah, I just like Oregon State keeping it close in the big rivalry game plus 13.5.
I like it. I like it a lot, especially with how close they played Washington too. Oregon State's a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Civil War game. I love it. Really quick, your Ole Miss team total. What'd you get a line for that?
Let me double check it. I think this is a 110, but let me double check. I'll come back.
Yeah, you can come back to me on that. I was just curious, but yeah, no, I like both those plays, and I got something kind of similar to that if it gets to me on the way back. Actually, it is my turn, so it is going to get to me. I'm gonna kind of double down on that Thursday game over, but I'm gonna take the full game over. I'm taking Ole Miss Mississippi State over 55.5. This is pretty much a vibes play for me and nothing else. This is the Egg Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. This is an Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving Day. I know a lot of people are gonna be watching NFL or maybe some other sports, but I mean, if you want to watch college football, this is the only game on. This is the Egg Bowl, and who doesn't love points in a rivalry game? Obviously, Iowa and Nebraska don't, but any other rivalry, who doesn't love points? Ole Miss has the opportunity to keep Mississippi State out of a bowl game. Again, another very similar situation to Iowa, Nebraska, Northwestern, Illinois. Ole Miss has the opportunity to keep Mississippi State out of a bowl game this year. And if Mississippi State wants to beat Ole Miss, they're going to have to outscore them because Ole Miss is going to get theirs, like Thomas said. They're going to get theirs against Mississippi State. And 86% of the public right now is betting the under. And I'm gonna fade the public once again here, and I'm gonna take the Egg Bowl over Ole Miss, Mississippi State over 55.5. Thanksgiving overs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Underrated rivalry game. Like it's always fun. Like you can go back to like COVID year. I think it was COVID year where the guy like did the dog peeing thing in the end zone.
Yeah, Elijah Moore.
The extra point. Yeah. That was hilarious. I love that.
Oh, dude, the hatred in that game is too fun.
It's a bunch of kids who like played since high school,
Yep. Middle
against
school
each other. Yeah, exactly. It's dope. I love it.
Love it.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say I looked up mine. I think I took an alt one. It's plus 105.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say too, there's some rivalry games like, Michigan, Ohio State and Alabama, Auburn that's like nationally known. And this game is nationally known. Like to be perfectly honest, I think the three of us would agree. Nobody outside of the Midwest gives a fuck about Iowa, Nebraska, really. So, but this is a rivalry game that people know about, which makes it fun. And that's why I think over is the move. So that's what I go with. And I like your team total too, Thomas. I think that could hit as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, sounds good. Corey, we'll go to you with your second round play.
I'm keeping it simple. There isn't much explanation other than this is hit all fucking year. So we're going to ride with it. We're going to take Texas A&M LSU over 66.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I'm confident enough in it to make it a 4-unit play. So the LSU overs, it's just been money all fucking year. So
did it hit last week? Potato bet the under last week in the LSU game. Did that over hit last week?
don't know. Wasn't
You
really
didn't bet it. Okay.
No.
I know you weren't on the show. I didn't know if you bet it still or not, but
No, I didn't. But I do know that I have bet it multiple times and it's hit every time I bet it. So I'm betting it this week.
keep the train going. I love it.
Yep.
Jaden Daniels has one last game to put up. Nobody talked about that either. 8 freaking touchdowns last week. That's crazy. But yeah, perfect opportunity for him to put up numbers.
Yeah, I mean, perfect Heisman opportunity against a team that's going to at least get you some national recognition. I expect him to pop off, bunch of points, no defense. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be fun to watch. Over 66 is a lock.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Wow.
I love this play. I'm probably more confident in this play than the Iowa-Nebraska play.
I was on this play too. That's why I was saying, oh no. I mean, my reasoning behind it is that I think LSU might be pushing Texas A&M into the end zone to like get Jaden Daniels some more snaps. I really think they want him to win the Heisman. I love it, man. It's a great pick by Corey.
Hold on a second, Corey. You have 2 totals.
Oh, take the first half over 33.5.
Okay. I just noticed that, and I'm assuming it's a minus 110.
Yep.
Okay. Nope. I just noticed that because Nope. Either way, I think it'll still hit.
Yep.
But all right, sounds good. Action. You do a back-to-back here. We'll go with your second round play here worth 4 units.
You guys have had me excited for that Iowa-Nebraska game. So give me the Iowa team total over 12.5 at a minus 120.
Yeah.
12.5.
That might be my play of the year. I just love that Iowa offense. And I wouldn't be shocked if the old man rides into the sunset after this year. So they have a spirited effort there as well. And then my game total, I'm going Indiana and Purdue over the 51.5.
Okay.
I watched that Minnesota-Purdue game, and I honestly don't know if Purdue had 11 guys on the field. That thing was just terrible. I do not believe in that Purdue defense. I've watched Indiana enough. I'm not going to believe in them, so I think there's going to be some points there.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good pick. Great pick. Purdue defense is trending way, way wrong at the wrong time of the year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Action. What was that line on that team total that you had for Iowa?
Minus 120. I paid the extra juice. I didn't dare go to 13.5. I could go 13.5 at plus money, but I'll lay the juice at 12.5.
Fair.
That way, if it's 13 to 12, I still win.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I like both those plays too, and I think Thomas put it well with the Indiana Purdue that they're kind of trending in the wrong direction at the wrong time. Both of them are, and Purdue's offense actually hasn't looked bad in the past couple of games, and now there's Indiana. So no, I like it. So, okay, sounds good. Corey, we'll go to you with your third round play worth 3 units.
Yep, I'm going to take the Nebraska team total under 13.5.
Whoa,
Okay.
okay.
Minus 120.
Okay. Interesting.
Under 13.5. 13 to 12 Nebraska. Both you guys hit. Right? No, it was actions 12.5.
13-12 Iowa, and we both hit, right?
13-12 Iowa, and they both win.
Yeah,
13,
I need Iowa to
13.
get to 13.
13-13.
So I figure 2 safeties, 3 field goals, I'm there.
Let's go.
13-13. It goes to the 20th overtime, and they just decide to call the game. They're like, this is enough.
They both suck.
Yeah, nobody can go 3 yards to get the 2-point conversion. Let's just end it.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, dang it. Action took my money line. So I gotta pivot here because I want to save my first half, my team total for the later rounds. So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville State money line at a plus 121. I mean, this is bullshit. Let me tell you guys something. This game between Jacksonville State and New Mexico State should be deciding who's playing Liberty in Conference USA. But the NCAA and their bullshit transition period is ruining not only James Madison, but it's ruining Jacksonville State. You know, this is a team that's ready for a conference championship game. They don't need a transition period. They're 8-3 overall. They have a 6-1 conference record. They're scoring nearly 30 points per game. They're giving up only 22 points per game. I know they haven't played many great teams. I understand that, but this is a team that is in an opportunity that should be playing for a conference championship, should be getting ready for a bowl game. But the NCAA once again has wronged another school of this opportunity. And because that, I think they lay it to New Mexico State. New Mexico State, much like Iowa, this game means nothing to them. They're going to be in the Conference USA game no matter what. And I think Jacksonville State makes a statement against New Mexico State here and wins their final game of their first year and finishes with a 9-3 record and doesn't make a bowl game somehow, some way. Jacksonville State money line at a plus 121. Uh-oh. All right, let's hear it.
Throwing my challenge flag. Am I up next on picks?
You are.
Are we allowed to go opposites?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm throwing my challenge flag. Taking New Mexico State money line.
Wow. Okay.
Plus 115. I believe New Mexico State 10-2, their last 12 ATS, or maybe 9-2 since we're on the 12th game of the season. That was pretty dumb. But I'm telling you, I mean, New Mexico State just won at Auburn. They just won at Western Kentucky. Jacksonville State hasn't played anybody. It's a great story. Proud of them. I think they should be going to a bowl too. I think our Dukes should be going to the bowl too. But I'm going to use my challenge flag first time this year, last time this year probably, because it hasn't ever came up, and I don't think it'll come up again. But I'm taking New Mexico State plus 115 money line.
I just want to do a quick shout out to Jerry Kill, former Minnesota coach. He is the rebuilder, and he's done a heck of a job this year at New Mexico State. I love New Mexico State, Kyle. It could be a situational spot, though. A little letdown after Auburn, conference championship game going on next. That's why I'd probably side towards you, but I'm going to cheer like heck for the Aggies. I got the guns up. I'm ready to go. Let's go New Mexico State.
Yeah. This is our first ever lock off on the show. We've never had two people on opposite sides of a play. So best of luck. And you said you got it at a plus one, because I got Jacksonville State as an underdog too. You got New Mexico State as an underdog.
Welcome to Better Edge. You can get both sides as the dog.
True.
Okay. Let me double check. Approximate time for that kickoff.
It's late. It's late at night on Saturday, I believe.
Saturday. Where I saw 115.
I have 3 p.m. Central is what I have, and I actually have New Mexico State right now plus 2.5, and I have them at plus money on the money line currently.
Yeah, plus 105.
That line is flipped, so I don't know if Coach Kill has maybe said that they're going to rest somebody or not, because that line is moved.
Oh. Yeah, I got him yesterday at plus money, so I guess that line has shifted since I prepped, but either way, it's whenever you prepped it is the line you get, because that's when you would place the bet. So, okay.
Yeah, I'll go with it. Yeah, I right now, present time, plus 2.5, as actually said, plus 105 on the money line. So I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Thomas. We'll see. We'll see what Conference USA team is the better one.
Yeah, we'll have to tune into that game on freaking Flow Sports or whatever it's gonna be on.
Conference USA front row.
Hey, ESPN Plus, baby. We get a lot of ESPN Plus in Conference USA. But Kyle, I get your viewpoint on James Madison and Jacksonville State. But as a Gopher fan, if we lose to Wisconsin, I'm counting on that APR getting us into a bowl game at 5-7. So I got to keep these transitional programs out. We got to pay PJ and his staff their bonus money, get our extra 30 days of practice. They don't deserve to be in. Keep them out.
That is a good point. Where there's not enough, I believe, not enough 5-7 teams, or not enough 6-6 teams. James Madison and Jacksonville State can play. It's one of those two. Right?
No. I don't think they get to play no matter
They
what.
don't get to play at
the
all.
Gophers right now. There are, I believe, 18 teams or something like that have an opportunity to get to 6 wins. So Minnesota's like third in the APR pecking order. If we don't get there, that we would get one of those spots at 5-7. And I want that Music City or the Motor City Bowl like nobody's business in Detroit.
Motor City Bowl against Western Kentucky.
Yeah, well, then Western Kentucky won't be eligible, but we'll get a MAC school.
There you go.
We'll get a rematch against Bowling Green. That's the one we want.
I think Eastern's getting bowl eligible right now. Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, they're up by a few points, it looks like 30.
Yeah, like 30.
All right. Sounds good. Thomas, we'll start the 4th round with you. What do you got?
All right, so Texas A&M, LSU over 66.5 still available. Since
The
Corey
full
broke
game
bowl.
is, yeah.
Okay, I'm taking that.
I know
Signing my
Corey
buddy
loves
Corey. He made all the points for me. And I will say, like, I really think like it's like conspiracy theory, freaking, antennas up. Like, they might be calling some weird defenses to like get some more offensive opportunities. I really think that's their point for this game. So I really like this over.
And like we said already, Jaden Daniels has every opportunity to put up Heisman numbers one last time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I think we touched on it quite a bit with Corey's play. So I love both those picks, and I think that both could very well go over. All right, sounds good. Well, it looks like nobody's taken a first half play yet. So Corey did because he had to, but I'm going to take the next first half play, and I'm going to go to the Paul Bunyan Axe game, and I'm going to take Wisconsin, Minnesota under 20.5 at a -115 on Bet365. This is one of the most underrated rivalries in college football. The oldest active consecutive rivalry in college football is the Paul Onions Axe game. I mean, come on. These two teams have a deep-rooted history. In games like this, you take stats, throw them out the door. I think the first half, they're going to keep each other low scoring. The defense, they're going to play well, keep each other in check. Second half might get interesting if the offense get a little bit of a rhythm going, but I don't see that happening in the first half. So I'm going to go to the Paul Bunyan Axe game. Wisconsin, Minnesota, first half under 20.5, -115.
I'd rather be dead than red. That's the motto for Gopher fans. We absolutely hate Wisconsin.
Where is it at this year? Is it in Minnesota or at Wisconsin?
It's at Minnesota.
All right. We'll need to get VFC's a Ohio State fan. I was going to say, I thought we had a Wisconsin fan at the network, but if we did, we'd have to get them on to sing the Minnesota Rouser, since me and Corey have had to do that so far this year. We need to keep that tradition going.
Not doing it again.
Just don't make promises you can't keep.
I won't. I won't ever do that again.
All right. Sounds good. Corey, we'll go to you with your 4th round play.
Action. What did you take you took a spread for the Nebraska Iowa game, right?
Team total.
No, I took the Iowa team total over. I have not touched the spread yet.
All right, I'm going to zig while everybody's zagging. I'm going to take Iowa +2.5.
You son of a bitch.
Excellent play. Excellent play.
I hate that you did that. That's an emotional hedge play.
I just want to make some money.
You are unreal.
You didn't think you're going to get any of this tonight. Let's go. I don't really think there's much to say here. It's absolutely ridiculous that Nebraska's 2.5-point favorites.
I think it's the comfortability that me and Thomas are saying. Like, the game doesn't matter. They want to keep Nebraska out. And like Thomas said, the players probably don't think that. Maybe the sports books are thinking that maybe they're on cruise control this game. That's the only reason I can think of.
Even if Nebraska wins, it's going to be by 1. Like there's no way.
I think the thing is like Nebraska's looked good, like kind of good offensively. They move the ball, but they turn it over a ton. The thing Iowa's defense, and it's a really high bar. I'll give shout outs to Iowa in this episode since I never do. Like it's a really high bar to be a great Iowa defense, and this year's defense hasn't really turned over teams. So like I think that's why the number is where it is. Like they're probably assuming Nebraska isn't gonna turn it over 5 times like they do against everybody else. Since Iowa can't really turn people over. Like, but that being said, yeah, I think take the plus. I think Big Ten West, it's over now, but we're done with it. But yeah, if there's like a +3, you take the +3 because most games are like 1-point games. So.
I don't know about you guys, but I actually kind of somewhat enjoyed playing like Northwestern and Purdue I am disappointed that we have to play Ohio State and Michigan more often than what we used to.
And yeah, like Washington and UCLA. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a thing where Iowa transitions into a team that if they win 7 games, it will actually be impressive instead of like, getting 3 wins against the worst non-conference schedule ever,
The funniest thing is we talk so bad about the Big Ten West, and I'm not defending it here over the last 5 years, but the state of some of the programs coming in, USC is not where I thought they were going to be. And I'm like, holy cow, they might only win 7 games and they have Caleb Williams. I mean, what does next year look for USC? Chip Kelly's rumored on the hot seat. If he would have lost last week, supposedly he was going to get fired. Then you could either have the coach at Oregon or Washington potentially going for a bigger, better job. I mean, you could have a lot of influx there. The Pac-12 teams coming in may not be as dominant as what we're thinking, but we'll find out.
Yeah. To add on to you, Washington, Oregon, ton of turnover too. I mean, these are like very old teams, especially quarterback for both teams. And so, I mean, you're absolutely right. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. It's like, because there's like a lot of talk that where it's like, well, everybody's in the Big Ten is going to have to change their style now that all these teams come in and there's no more divisions and everybody's going to play supposedly an even schedule or whatever. But like, who knows? I mean, even if you look at the Big Ten East, like I was kind of saying, like everybody kind of does like the Iowa thing now. I mean, Rutgers definitely does it. Like even Michigan and Ohio State, they have better defenses than we've seen. Well, I mean, not Michigan. Michigan's been great on defense for a long time, but Ohio State, they're not a great offense. They're really good defense. And I mean, so everybody's kind of like that now. It'll be interesting how these Pac-12 teams come in and what they do against, especially that first year when they have the same guys that they've had forever,
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really see much difference between the Big 12 15 years ago and the Pac-12 today. And Nebraska had an elite college football defense when they joined the Big Ten. I mean, they were ranked in the top 15 every single year in every major category, and they got the ball ran down their fucking throat. I mean, until just recently. Like, their recruiting patterns are going to have to change. Just because you influx 4 teams does not mean that the Big Ten is going to have to adjust to them. It's been this style versus style, yin versus yang type of thing. And when those teams from Oregon and California and Washington come and play Madison in the non-conference schedule, and they play those night games in East Lansing and Madison, Wisconsin, it's the slow, grounded out, ground and pound 3 yards in a cloud of dust that prevails because they keep the game close, wear them down, and win it in the fourth quarter. That style has offset the speed more often than it hasn't in these style matchups. And that's why Utah keeps winning the Pac-12. So I do not buy that narrative. I lived it the hard way, and I am just now finally seeing a Big Ten defense out in Lincoln. So no, they're not going to come in and run us out of town. They might have those blowout wins occasionally, but they're going to get ground down playing Rutgers, then Nebraska, then Minnesota, then Wisconsin. I mean, they're going to wake up bumped and bruised that they're not with what they're not used to. And I can't fucking wait for the day that UCLA comes to Lincoln on November 6th. I cannot wait for it. I absolutely cannot wait for
Got to
it.
get your boots on the ground for that game.
Oh, dude, I'm praying it's 30 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour winds, 11 a.m. kickoff, and these California boys are like, man, I'm so tired. It's like 9 a.m. back home, and this is cold. This hurts. I don't like this. Yeah. Can't wait.
I will say before we'll go to action after this to get his last two plays here. I will say, and Corey, you actually took the point I was going to make. If there's any Pac-12 team that I think could thrive in the Big Ten, it's Utah. I think Utah would do absolutely just fine transitioning to the Big Ten. Whereas I think those other conference schools, they're going to look at like Iowa, they're going to see a 3 tight end set. They're going to be like, what the hell? Like they're just not going to know what to do with it and not know how to react to it. Whereas they're used to seeing the West Coast offenses, the Mike Leach style spread offenses and stuff, air raid offenses, stuff like that. So they're gonna be in for a whirlwind.
Yeah. And I think I made the point before too, like or I think we talked about it. I think we talked about this before too, but like coming to the Midwest and after like middle of October, it doesn't even matter if it's that cold, it could be 50 degrees, but you get those like 30 mile an hour winds. Like that's just not a thing that happens in warm weather places or coastal places. And you can't, I mean, Maryland is the example. I think Maryland is like the East Coast example of these West Coast teams coming in where like you just see September Maryland is one thing and October 1st becomes October 1st and Maryland is just a completely different team. They just can't do it. They can't go to the Midwest and throw the ball around, do all their fancy things.
Yep. Yep. Nope. That's well said. That's well said all around. Action. Let's end round 4 and start round 5. You do a back-to-back here. We'll start with your 4th round play worth 2 units.
Yeah, let's go a first half over Kansas and Cincinnati. I'm going over the 28.5 at a -105.
Okay.
And then on the return pick here, let's go Oklahoma minus the 10 against TCU.
Okay. Sounds good.
I have a question. I got a question. What is the Oklahoma State tiebreaker?
Oklahoma State won head-to-head. The only chance Oklahoma has to make the championship is they have to win next week, and Texas or Oklahoma State has to lose. Because if Texas loses, they have head-to-head. If Oklahoma State loses, they'll have 3 losses. That's the only shot if Texas and Oklahoma State win, that's the Big 12 championship. But if Oklahoma wins and one of those two lose, then Oklahoma will be in the Big 12 championship.
Now, Kansas State still has a shot if both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State lose too.
Correct. Yep. Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. I like both those plays action and best of luck. Corey, we'll go to you. Looks like you need a money line here.
I'm going to take Ohio State money line plus 140.
Ooh, okay. I love that actually. You know what, Corey, you and I have been one of the few people at the network that's not like a fan of either of these teams to be on Ohio State. I picked them number 2 in the team draft that we had because I think they're better than Michigan.
We both did.
Yeah.
So no, I'm all about it. That 3 years in a row thing, they haven't done it since the early 90s, I want to say, or the earlier mid 90s, back when Lloyd Carr had Tom Brady at the helm type shit. So I don't think Ohio State's going to let slide another year. And I think that the amount of disrespect that the media is putting on Ohio State, I mean, it turns into that team up north this year. And I just think they win. I think they're going to finally win this one.
In Ann Arbor, right? Like,
yeah, it is at the big house. Yep.
That really hasn't mattered as much in this game, though.
Right.
I was going to ask you guys, since Thomas and I don't have that play, just for my curiosity, if you guys had a lean in action, Thomas, if you had to lean on this game, where would you go? I'm with Corey. I'd lean Ohio State, I think.
I really have no idea, like, honestly, what to expect. Like, I'm just gonna go in as a fan because I don't know, Michigan looked like kind of untouchable. Then but I mean, even okay. Then they played Maryland, and they only beat Maryland like by 5, right? Or it was close at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same token, like I watched the first half, Maryland made 2 bad plays, only 2 bad plays. Like that's it, and they were down 23-3. Like Michigan is like crazy good. Ohio State is like it's their best defense since like shit, I don't know, like 2002 or something, you know, like seriously, like I really have no idea. I'm just gonna go in. It's my favorite rivalry game, being a Midwest kid, like you know, like, you know, I love Iowa State, and I love Iowa, Nebraska nowadays, and stuff like that. But like but I mean, I don't think I've ever missed this game, like ever, like in all the time that I've been on this earth, which is many years. And I mean, yeah, it's my favorite rivalry game, so I'm just gonna go in as a fan and just like check it out.
For sure. Action, what about you?
Sorry about that. At 3.5, I'd play Ohio State. At 3, I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, I think Ohio State's defense is really good. I could just see this being a field goal game one way or another. So grabbing 3.5 to me would make the most sense. You know, I don't think it's a bad money line play. The whole Jim Harbaugh not being on the sidelines again, I don't know. I struggle there. There is so doggone much motivation this year in this, and yeah, I think it's going to be a shame one of them if they don't make the playoffs. I know that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yep.
and it would take complete chaos for the loser to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
it would. It would.
I think there's a stronger case for Michigan to make it, but I don't think they'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did make the point on the last show that say the loser of this game doesn't make the playoff, and say Washington and or Oregon doesn't make it, that Rose Bowl game is going to be fun with Michigan and Ohio State, and then either Washington or Oregon. That Rose Bowl game is going to be fun.
Rose Bowl's a semifinal, so it'd be like
the true
Orange Bowl.
The Peach
It'd be
Bowl
like the Orange Bowl.
I forgot the Rose Bowl was a playoff
yeah.
game this year. That stinks. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. Okay. I don't know ball clearly, but
no, I didn't mean to. I
appreciate it.
It would just be funny if it was like, you know, one loss, you know, whoever, one loss Washington versus one loss Ohio State, or one loss Michigan in the, like I actually said, like the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you guys think? Florida State wins the ACC championship game?
Without Travis, it's tough.
Yeah. So who's the one loss team that makes it then?
Texas.
You think they're going to jump that far from 7? I think
Washington and Oregon.
Ohio State or Michigan still makes it before Texas.
What if Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12 championship game? They're going to cancel each other out from being in the playoff. I do firmly believe. So then, if Florida State doesn't win the ACC, which I don't think they do without Jordan Travis, then I think it would come down to either Texas or it would come. But if Texas wins the Big 12 championship, it's tough to leave a Big 12 champion out of the race versus a team that didn't play in the conference championship.
Well, but then you also had your coach suspended potentially if it's Michigan. That's why I'm saying there could be a really strong case for Michigan to put an asterisk next to the game if it ends up being decided by a field goal.
True.
Because, I mean, you know, yeah, I could make that argument anyway. And if Washington beats Oregon, if Florida State loses, I think we got chaos right there.
Yeah. Okay. No, sounds good, gentlemen. I'm going to go for my last play away from any good game there is. And God damn it, I have been playing this total all year long, and I get to play it one final time. And God damn it, I'm going to do it. Kent State team total under 12.5 at a +100. This is the last time I get to play it all year. They are scoring 11.1 points per game. They have 241.3 yards per game. This team absolutely sucks. You know, it's crazy when a coach and an offensive coordinator leave, how much it flips. They're playing Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is playing for bowl eligibility here. So I think they hold Kent State to very, very low points. One last hurrah for the year. Kent State team total under 12.5. And that is where I'm going to go. Thomas, Mr. Irrelevant here. Looks like you need a first half play.
All right. So earlier I talked up Northwestern and Illinois offenses, but the player wrote down was first half under 22.5 at plus money, plus 102, under 22.5 points. Northwestern, for example, last week I believe it was 6 total points at the half. The game ended up being like 38 or 37 on a total. But I mean, I think these teams just kind of like fill each other out. Huge game, gonna be a hostile crowd at Champaign. It's just gonna be wild. So they'll just be doing what they can to get under 22.5 at plus 102.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, gentlemen, I'll go through everybody's plays here really quick, and then we'll do honorable mentions, then follow up with upsets and locks and get out of here. Action, Northwestern money line at a plus 180. Iowa team total over 12.5 at a minus 120. Indiana, Purdue over 51.5. Kansas, Cincinnati first half over 21.5 at a minus 105. Oklahoma minus 10. Corey, Iowa, Nebraska under 26.5. Texas A&M, LSU first half over 33.5 at a minus 110. Nebraska team total under 13.5 at a minus 120. Iowa plus 2.5. Ohio State money line at a plus 140. Kyle, Ohio minus 14. Ole Miss, Mississippi State over 55.5. Jacksonville State money line at a plus 121. Wisconsin, Minnesota first half over 20.5 at a minus 115. And Kent State team total under 12.5 at a plus 100. Thomas, Ole Miss team total over 34.5 at a plus 105. Oregon State plus 13.5. New Mexico State money line at a plus 105. Texas A&M, LSU over 66.5. And Northwestern Illinois first half under 22.5 at a plus 102. Really, really quick. Let's go through honorable mentions. Corey, did you have anything that wasn't said already?
No, actually, you took the Wisconsin Minnesota one that I liked, and then obviously the Nebraska Iowa first half under is 13.5.
I'm surprised you didn't play that, to be honest with you. I thought
it burned me. So
that's fair.
On to bigger and better things.
Fair enough. Action, any plays you like, honorable mention?
Purdue minus 3 against Indiana, I like, and I actually like Western Kentucky minus the 10 at Florida International.
Yep, I like that one as well. Thomas?
Last week of the year, Texas Tech keeps it close, plus 13. I mentioned Oregon State. Yeah, I just think that's my only honorable mention. I just like say in general, like the last game of the year tends to be closer than the experts think, as Lee Corso would say.
Okay. Sounds good. I only had a couple plays that actually didn't get taken. I like Air Force first half plus 3. They're playing Boise State. I think they keep it really close on the road in the first half. I like that a lot. And the other play I like was another Conference USA game that we haven't mentioned. I like Liberty minus 17 against UTEP. Liberty is absolutely rocking this year. And they have a sophomore QB, Caden Salter, playing absolutely crazy. They have an opportunity to go to the championship game undefeated, and I think they do. And I think they make a statement against a really bad UTEP team. So I like Liberty minus 17 as well. So, all right, gentlemen, let's go through upsets of the week and lock of the week. Let's start with upset of the week. Upset of the week, very, very, very simple. If the upset, you need to have an upset of at least 7 points, an underdog, and they have to win outright for you to get a point. Current standings right now, Action is in the lead with 4. I'm in second with 3. Beast and Thomas are tied for third with 2. Corey is in 5th with 1, and PG is in 6th with none. So let's go through our upsets of the week. And Corey, we will start with you.
I'm gonna take BYU money line. They're plus 17. They're bowl eligible. They're fighting for bowl eligibility against Oklahoma State. I know that Oklahoma State's been on a tear, but I'm gonna take a team that I think is a little bit better than what that line is saying and is fighting to go to a bowl game.
Okay. Sounds good. Thomas, we'll go to you. What do you got for your upset of the week?
Upset of the week. What is one of your guys' favorite NFL bets to play in the month of December? Just by chance, if you can feel where I'm going with this. When the Miami Dolphins have to go up north to either Buffalo or Foxborough.
Okay.
Miami Hurricanes have to go to Hanover. Where's Boston College even at? I don't even know. In Boston somewhere.
It's in a city that starts with an A. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's Hanover or something. But Boston College plus 8.5. They host Miami this weekend. The high temperature that day on Saturday is gonna be 35. Miami doesn't want any part of that, So that's my upset of the week. Boston College Eagles, BC Eagles, as
Boston College over
PG would
Miami.
say.
All right.
In Chestnut Hill, that's where it is.
Chestnut Hill.
That's a good pick too.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm also going to go to an ACC game, and I'm going to go a different direction. I'm taking Kentucky over Louisville as my upset of the week. I think this is a massive look-ahead game for Louisville here. They have to take on an undefeated, more than likely, if they can beat Florida State team here. And they've been scouting JTravis all season. Now they have to look at Tate Roadmaker. And, they're already locked into the ACC championship game here. So I think this is a really good opportunity with an experienced quarterback in Devin Leary and a top 50 offense and defense to follow suit. I think I can very well see an upset happening here. So I'm going to take Kentucky over Louisville. That's my upset of the week. And Action, wrap it up for us. What is your upset of the week?
Sam Pittman was given the vote of confidence. He's back at Arkansas. Missouri coming off the big emotional win. They were doing the gator chop and everything when they beat Florida. You're expected to beat Florida, Missouri. You shouldn't have been celebrating that much. I think Arkansas gets the best of the Tigers this week.
Okay. That was the other one I was contemplating, so I like that one a lot too. All right, gentlemen, well, let's round it out with locks of the week. Lock of the week, very, very simple. Your lock hits, you get a win. If it doesn't, you get a loss. Current standings right now, Action is in first place with a 9-3 record in his locks of the week. Corey is in second with a 7-5. Beast is in third with a 4-3. I'm in fourth with a 5-7, and Thomas and PG. They have the same winning percentage, which is why they're tied for fifth. But Thomas is 3-9, and PG is 1-2. So let's round out the show with locks of the week. And Thomas, we will start with you.
I'm gonna go with something I mentioned a little bit earlier. Games is kind of tighten up. I'm gonna go with my lock. Auburn at home versus Alabama, plus 14.5. I think they lose by 14 exactly. It's gonna be
All right.
my play.
You heard it here. You heard it here first. Really quick, I forgot to mention, shout out to our man VFC on the last show. He picked New Mexico State over Auburn as his lock of the week, and they won outright. So I wanted to give him a shout out there. So that was a really good pick there. I don't have much analysis for this, just for the fact that I've rode this play all year, and I'm going to make it my lock one last time since I can't do it anymore. Kent State team total under 12.5 is my lock of the week. And that is the direction I'm going to go. Corey, we'll go to you with your lock of the week.
I am going to take that Texas A&M LSU over 66. It's gonna be my lock of the week.
You've been riding it all year. Got to do it. Got to do it one more. Got to keep it going.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. And Action, wrap it up for us.
Lock of the week, lock of the month, lock of the year, lock of the decade, lock of the century. Give me Iowa plus the 2.5 at Nebraska.
Whoa. Okay.
And I thought I liked you.
I hope to see you tomorrow. We're both under the weather, so I don't know if we should get together. But, the invite I mailed to you, I haven't got an RSVP yet.
Now you two should just kiss and make up. But, all right. That sounds good. Well, we battled some audio. We battled two people playing their Jordan Flu game. And, shout out to you guys as always. This was fun. Corey, the only time I'll be nice to you all week. I can promise you that. But best of luck to Nebraska. Best of luck to Nebraska this week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wish you good luck.
Okay, I take that back. Fuck you.
I gotta get one question in, Kyle.
Sure.
Thanksgiving Day, Oklahoma versus Iowa basketball. Who you got?
Ooh. I got the over.
The over.
I got the over. Lots of
I don't
points.
know. Oklahoma plays like slow ass ball, I think, but I don't know. Yeah. All right. I need to know your rooting. Like, where is it 51%? Where's the 51%?
There's no 51%, Tom. You know that. All right. Well, Corey, fuck you, actually. So that'll do it. That'll do it for this week of the Kota Capra College World Central Show. Tune in next week as we cover championship week and we talk about rivalry week as well.
It was all in good fun, man. Love you.
I love you too. See ya.